Welcome to World Prism. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. For centuries, the story of global trade has been written on water. Rivers, seas, and oceans have served as the highways of civilization, carrying not just goods, but also people, cultures, and ideas across vast distances. The fate of empires and the rise of cities have always been tied to the flow of water and the mastery of navigation. The oceans are vast, but the shortcuts, the canals, are what truly revolutionized how goods, ideas, and power move across our planet. These narrow passages, carved by human ambition, have turned continents into neighbors and made the world smaller, faster, and more connected than ever before. Before these man-made marvels, ships had to undertake perilous, months-long journeys around entire continents. The risks were immense. Storms, shipwrecks, and the constant threat of running out of supplies haunted every voyage. The promise of a shortcut was nothing short of revolutionary. The Suez Canal, opened in 1869, created a direct link between the Mediterranean and Red Seas, slashing weeks off the journey from Europe to Asia. Suddenly, the world's most lucrative trade routes were transformed, and the balance of power began to shift. Suddenly, the British Empire could connect more efficiently with its colonies, and trade flourished. The canal became a symbol of industrial progress and imperial ambition, fueling economic booms and changing the fate of nations. The canal became a vital artery of global capitalism, so strategic that nations would go to war to control it. Its importance was not just economic, but deeply political, shaping alliances and sparking conflicts that echoed across continents. Decades later, the Panama Canal, completed by the U.S. in 1914, connected the Atlantic and Pacific, eliminating the need to sail around South America. This engineering triumph redefined global shipping, opening new possibilities for commerce and military movement. These canals were more than engineering feats, they were declarations of power, shaping military strategy and economic policy. Whoever controlled the canals controlled the flow of wealth and influence. Today, as we stand in 2025, the principles remain the same, but the players are changing. The world's waterways are still the lifeblood of trade, but new powers are emerging, and the stakes are higher than ever. China, having built its modern economy on global trade, now sees both opportunity and vulnerability in the world's chokepoints. The nation is investing billions to secure its access, knowing that control over these routes means security and prosperity. The lesson is clear: to become a global maritime power, you must build your own routes. History rewards those who shape the flow of commerce and punishes those who are left behind. This is the context for China's ambitious, world-altering canal strategy. As new waterways are carved and old ones are contested, the next chapter in the story of global trade is being written, once again, on water. China's vision for reshaping global maritime trade is nothing short of monumental, signaling a bold new chapter in the world's shipping history. As the world's largest exporter, China is acutely aware of the strategic importance of controlling and diversifying global trade routes. With a staggering $50 billion plan, China aims to carve new waterways through both Central America and Southeast Asia, fundamentally altering the flow of goods and the balance of maritime power. The first major project is the revival of the Nicaragua Canal, a proposed waterway 3 times the length of the Panama Canal, designed to link the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. This ambitious canal would allow the world's largest ships to bypass Panama, opening up new possibilities for global shipping. After a failed attempt in the 2010s, Nicaragua has renewed its commitment to the project, this time with China as a willing and resourceful partner, bringing fresh investment and technical expertise to the table. The second transformative project is the proposed Kra Canal in Thailand, which would cut directly across the Isthmus of Kra. This canal would provide a shortcut for ships, allowing them to bypass the notoriously congested Strait of Malacca, one of the world's busiest maritime chokepoints. For Beijing, the Kra Canal is more than just a shortcut. It's a strategic solution to the so-called Malacca dilemma, reducing China's dependence on a single vulnerable route and securing its vital trade lifelines for decades to come. These ambitious canal projects are central pillars of China's Belt and Road Initiative, reflecting its determination to become the indispensable hub of a new era of globalization and international commerce. If realized, these new canals would represent the most significant reordering of global sea lanes since the opening of the Panama Canal, reshaping the future of international trade and maritime strategy for generations to come. China's canal ambitions are driven by a need to secure its economic and strategic future. Over 80% of China's oil imports and much of its trade pass through the US-patrolled Strait of Malacca, a critical vulnerability. The Cra Canal would bypass this choke point, while a Nicaraguan canal would challenge US dominance in the Americas. These routes would cut shipping times and costs, boosting China's competitiveness. By financing and operating these canals, China embeds itself in the politics and economies of host nations, gaining leverage. The recent sale of Panama Canal port assets to US and European firms reminded Beijing of its limited control over existing infrastructure. For China, building new canals is no longer just ambition. It's a strategic necessity. The stakes are nothing less than China's rise as a global superpower. The US views China's ambitious canal projects as a direct challenge to its naval supremacy and long-standing global influence. American policymakers worry that new trade routes could shift the balance of power, allowing China to bypass choke points traditionally controlled by the US and its allies. In response, Washington has imposed punitive port fees specifically targeting Chinese shipping companies. These measures are designed to undermine China's growing dominance in shipbuilding, logistics, and global trade, while signaling to allies that the US is willing to defend its economic interests. The recent sale of Panama Canal port assets to a US-led consortium was another strategic move, intended to block further Chinese influence in a region critical to global shipping. Regional neighbors are watching closely. Thailand, for example, weighs the potential economic windfall of new canal projects against deep-seated fears of an increased Chinese military presence in its backyard, which could alter the regional security landscape. Meanwhile, Latin American countries face tough choices, balancing the lure of Chinese investment in infrastructure with the risk of straining their long-standing ties to the United States. China has also demonstrated its ability to exploit global turmoil to its advantage. During recent Red Sea attacks, Chinese ships continued using the Suez Canal, maintaining vital trade flows, while others rerouted or halted operations. It's widely believed that China reached a tacit understanding with local powers, ensuring the safe passage of its vessels through these volatile waters, further highlighting its growing diplomatic reach. This pragmatic, behind-the-scenes diplomacy offers a glimpse of the leverage China hopes to wield through its own canal projects, reshaping global trade and power dynamics. As the rivalry between the US and China intensifies, the world is watching with anticipation, aware that the outcome could redefine the future of international trade and security. To grasp the impact of China's Nicaragua Canal, look to its rival, the Panama Canal. For over a century, Panama has symbolized American power, reshaping trade and military strategy in the Americas. China's proposed canal is designed to be bigger and deeper, accommodating megaships that Panama cannot. This would make the Nicaraguan route more attractive for global trade, challenging the old order. The comparison is not just engineering, it's about competing visions for global leadership. The Panama Canal represents the 20th century American era. The Nicaragua Canal could be China's monument to a new world order. It's a rivalry written in concrete, steel, and water. China's canal dreams face daunting obstacles. In Nicaragua, the project would displace thousands, including indigenous communities, sparking social unrest and opposition. Environmental risks are massive. Dredging through Lake Nicaragua could devastate ecosystems and water supplies. And the Cra Canal in Thailand faces similar environmental and social concerns. The $50 billion price tag could balloon, and it's unclear if transit fees would ever justify the investment. Engineering challenges are immense, and unforeseen issues could turn these projects into financial disasters. The US is likely to use every tool, diplomatic, economic, and covert, to disrupt China's plans. Success will depend on China's ability to navigate not just geography, but fierce political and environmental resistance. If China succeeds, global trade and power will shift dramatically. The world's reliance on the Panama and Suez canals would wane, and a new axis of shipping would center on China. Supply chains would be redrawn, and nations in Latin America and Southeast Asia would be pulled deeper into China's orbit. The global economy could fracture into competing spheres, one led by the US, the other by China. But the challenges are immense, and failure could leave behind costly monuments to overreach. The Canal Gambit is more than infrastructure. It's a declaration of China's intent to reshape the world order. Whether these canals are built or not, the very proposal has already changed the conversation about global power. The tides of trade may soon flow in new directions.